wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
Dig it, sucker! Dig it!
You got me,
Dig it, sucker! Dig it!
you got me mad now.
Dig it! I'm okay!
Greetings, everybody listening right now, whether you're watching on AfterBuzz TV or listening on AfterBuzz TV or iTunes or Podcast One or whatever venue you are listening to us. We appreciate you. This is the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast. We are at WrestlingBuds on Twitter, Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. I'm Johnny LaQuasto, at JQuasto on the Twitter. You might be asking yourself, who is on the show tonight? Well, I can tell you who is not on the show, unfortunately. That is Dale Rutledge, but follow him at The Walking Dale. He is about to leave for France for 2 weeks.
That guy's always globetrotting.
He's a globe trotter without the basketball shorts. He is not going to be on the show this week or next week, but hit him up on Twitter. Tell him that you wish him an amazing trip to France, and I think he's going to somewhere else, some other country that I haven't been to, but he's definitely going somewhere. But we got a pretty full roster here for you today, and big reveal in... Oh, wait, that didn't work. Let me fix that. Hang on. Oh, it was so good, too. Big reveal in...
A one, a two, a three.
That man right there is the pride of TCU, the pride of Houston, Texas. You can find him on Twitter at CRice17. He be Chuck Rice.
He's a man.
I fixed it this week.
It worked, I was about to say.
It worked.
You know what doesn't work today, Johnny?
What's that?
Your driving skills.
Yeah, well, that was I was in a hurry and I misjudged pulling into a parking space and I nipped your car. And that
Yeah, you did.
I feel like a horse's patoot.
Well, you know what, Johnny? It's okay. Because it is a new day today, obviously, like every day is, but
It's a new day.
today is a great day. Do you know why?
Because the Houston Astros are about to whoop up on the Yankees'
Yes,
ass.
sir.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir. So I just want to take a moment. All of the listeners that have tweeted me the support of the Astros, I appreciate you, fans. One of you, you're dead to me. You know who you are. Ari, you're dead. He doesn't exist to me anymore.
Hey, let's hope by the time everyone's listening to this that the Astros have moved past the Yankees.
Yeah, let's hope.
And bulldozed them like the Shockmaster going through a wall.
Well, you know, clearly they're down CC because he entered himself into rehab.
How weird is that? Of all times, they go to rehab right before the playoffs.
Hey, you know what? But listen, so to all the listeners that have been tweeting me and, you know, trying to help me keep my nerves calm today, much appreciated because they are running wild.
They're running. Astros Mania is running wild. Let's get to the other two gentlemen in studio. The first guy, he is the leader of the Curtain Jerks podcast and the 16 Bits podcast. You can find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. He is Scott Narver.
Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver. Curtain jerk compadre, he's always there to save the day. Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver.
Hey, buddy.
I love the roadie. He's so good. He can sing anything.
The roadie. Every week, you're going to come up with a new person that recorded the song.
Yeah, well, until I know who it is.
I want to know, how long did it take to find your Matt Hardy version 1 t-shirt that you're wearing right now?
About 9 seconds.
Really? You knew exactly where it was?
I did.
That's shocking to me. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Chuck, do you know what an Astro is yet?
A team that's on their way to win the World Series.
Hey, there you
I
go.
don't think that's in the dictionary, but all right.
I feel like you could find it in a what's the thing when you're in junior high? You went up. It was not a conservatory. The planetarium.
The girls' locker room.
If you go to a If you go to a planetarium, you could actually see an astro shooting through the sky.
All right.
Perhaps. I don't know. The other guy on the show tonight, he is a friend of the show. You can find him on Twitter at NatBaymel. He tours the country as a comedian and a wrestling encyclopedia. He's Nat Baymel.
Kabuki!
What's up, buddy?
Not too much. I specifically tour the nation as a wrestling encyclopedia.
You should.
It's very profitable for
That'd
me.
be amazing.
I just like go into a town and be like, Hakushi actually wrestled Bret Hart in 1995 in your house. Alrighty then.
And the girls are just throwing panties.
I already got a girlfriend. I don't need any more.
Oh, that's right, up top. Good
Right
job,
here.
buddy. You're living with a girl. Good for you, man.
I am. She tolerates my wrestling mansplaining around the house.
So help me God, she better.
I spent literally half an hour describing to her the story of the Mega Powers.
Did you?
I did.
Was she into it?
She pretended to be. God bless her.
Oh, good
All
for
right,
her.
what match have you showed her before that she was like, this match is awesome?
A lot of PWG.
Okay.
A lot of PWG. You got to wean them in with the comedy, and then you get to the real serious stuff.
But you had to enjoy the Mega Power story.
Yeah. I mean, like, when we got to the end about Miss Elizabeth and the big reunion at WrestleMania 7.
The Mega Power!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a good relationship right there. Proud of you, buddy. Hey, guys, this Saturday, if you live in LA, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, big show. We're now 4 p.m. on Saturdays on KDOC, but Cole Cabana is actually wrestling Peter Avalon for the Heritage Championship. So Cole Cabana, first appearance for us in a long time, and it's going to be really, really good. So heads up there. Whistle Sports Tour. It's coming it's coming your way, guys. I don't want to say coming all over. That would have sounded weird.
Good thing you didn't.
It was okay. Tuesday, we're going to be shooting in Green Bay next week. And then Wednesday, we're going to be in Chicago. And then we're going to Michigan for the Michigan State game. So if you're anywhere in the Midwest, hit me up on social media. I don't know where we're going to be, but I will make sure to tell you and come out and hang out. So Tuesday, Green Bay. Wednesday, Chicago. And then the 17th is going to be Michigan State. This weekend, we're at Dallas for Oklahoma and Texas at the Texas State Fair.
Ooh, damn.
I'm eating so much. They're entering me in some kind of eating competition.
Did you eat at the State Fair last weekend?
No, we didn't go to the State Fair. We went to Wild Bill's Western Store and then went. I ate a buffalo fillet,
Okay.
which was amazing, and then I rode a bunch of mechanical bulls and got my ass kicked.
Okay.
By the guys that own the bar that just wanted you to get off of there. They
Yeah.
finally just beat you down.
Well,
much is what it
listen.
was.
It sounds like the tour that you're going on is going to be a lot more exciting than the game you're going to see.
Texas is terrible. Oh God.
Oh, I know. TCU beat them 50 to 7.
50 to 7. Yeah, it's going to be rough this weekend, but we'll be in Dallas, and then of course next week, all that going on in the Midwest. So hit us up. Let's get started, guys. NXT TakeOver. If you're listening to this, it's either happening tonight or it has already happened. So let's get right into it. Iron Man match, main event, Sasha versus Bayley. How cool is that?
Correction, isn't it an Iron Woman match?
It's an
Johnny?
Iron Woman match. That's right. It's an
Iron person match.
Iron person, Iron Human match. How about
PC,
that?
bro.
It's an Iron Human match.
A Tony Stark match.
There you go. It's a Tony Stark match.
It's a Pepper Potts match.
Oh, Jesus. That's a good one. So what do you guys think? I mean, obviously, I don't know how they can top what they did last time. I hope they don't try to. I just hope they just do what they do for a half hour, and it's going to be great.
I hope there's multiple falls. I hope there's, you know,
yeah.
I never like the ones where it's 0-0 and then they go into overtime. You know, they do that a lot. I like to see there be a bunch of victories and someone get the upper hand for a while. Like, just, you know, they're that good, they should be beating each other, I feel.
In an hour match, I completely agree. It's really boring, especially after like that halfway point and there's no falls. You're like, oh, okay, we have another half hour until we see anything.
It's like a soccer game.
But in 30 minutes, I feel like we can do a 30-minute match, not have a fall, have it be exciting, and then have it go into overtime. And then they can go however long they want because it's just sudden death, and they can do another half hour after that. Because, I mean, it's the network. They can go as long as they need or want to, and we wouldn't know when it would end. And that would be just like a legendary all-time, hey, do you remember watching them go an hour in a half an hour Iron Person match?
True. I don't know. What do you think? Would you rather see a bunch of falls or none at all?
I would rather see a hybrid of both, actually.
Okay.
I think that what should happen maybe is go the whole 30 minutes without a pin or get really close to it. Boom, one of them pins them, 30 seconds left. The other one turns around, gets up, pins the other one, go into an overtime. Keep it really interesting, but take both of your ideas.
Yeah.
I think that we've seen some really amazing matches between these two ladies. And I think in Iron Man, Iron Woman matches in general, I don't like it when you get a lot of pinfalls early on because I think it negates so many other times when we see these people wrestle, usually building up to that, where they go 30 minutes without a pin, 45 minutes without a pin, however long it might be.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more believable when they can go that distance for a bit without pinning each other.
Totally. I think you're right with that because sometimes you'll see a match where someone goes up 3 falls and then it becomes a comeback story. But I think this is the kind of match where they know each other so well. I honestly think the first 5 minutes should be jockeying for position back and forth and really setting up the story for the next 25 plus minutes.
Well, the last match went like, what, 20, 25 minutes?
It was pretty long.
Yeah, so it would be weird if it, like, first falls like in 5 or 10.
True.
And I mean, I like that idea of like just them both getting falls towards the end, like to just get people interested in it. But I feel it also like they're so beloved and they're gonna be at Full Sail, and so that crowd's gonna be on fire for them.
I think too, you know, like the only time that I really enjoy seeing a pinfall victory happen early in a match anyway is when it's like a quick roll up, unexpected, catch the person off guard. Like, you just, it won't work in my opinion to have this like a nice clean fall early on in this match. I think it takes away from the person that gets pinned a lot.
I think there's a way of doing it. I don't think it's in this story, but you could definitely have a story where all the pressure's on. If all the pressure was on Bayley that she couldn't hold on to her title, and Sasha's just really ramming it home, like, you know, this was a fluke win, and then she's so in her head that she can get those pinfalls early on, and you know she's getting her on a misstep, and all the pressure's on Bayley, so she's just psyching herself out and getting counted out, getting a pinfall, like stuff happening, or DQing herself.
Almost, yeah, like she's hitting the panic button almost. Woof, that'd be a hell of a story.
I just really like the build up to this match that's happened outside of the stories. You know, like it's an exciting match for me to see because of the mutual level of respect that the two of them have been showing each other, either, you know, through social media, other avenues. But, and I'm sure some of you saw this, but both of them tweeted out, like, you know, last week, one of them had like a middle school essay. I think it was Bayley, where she wrote about wanting to be the, you know, women's champion one day or something. And then Sasha came back with her high school essay. And it was just like, this is really cool. But there was like that mutual level of respect that they're following their dreams. And I mean, obviously a lot of people have dreams, but it's just cool to see them manifest like this.
Yeah, Sasha specifically said, Eddie Guerrero, like in her essay, Eddie Guerrero's my favorite wrestler. I want to be a wrestler, but wrestling for women nowadays is just, you know, like sexualized, like objectified. I want to be a wrestler. I want to be respected. I want to put on long matches.
And you know, it's crazy. That was what, maybe 8-9 years ago, and that was not. She's right. At that time, that's kind of how things were in a lot of ways. So it's amazing that in such a short amount of time, here she is changing the game.
Can I throw in a really ridiculous prediction?
I love a prediction.
I'm gonna say that little mini Bayley Izzy is gonna turn on Bayley and become mini Sasha.
Bullshit. What?
I'm just throwing it out, just so if it ever happens. I always put my money on the long shots, so if it ever comes through, I'm gonna be rich.
Dude, if that happens, but then what? Where does she go? I mean, okay, I'm not even gonna, that's great.
I'm just saying, if it happens, you heard it here and only here.
Love it.
Boom.
I love it. You know what match is not gonna last a half hour?
What's that?
That's gonna be Asuka beating Dana Brooks' ass, and I cannot wait to see it. Damn.
Watch them fuck with you, Johnny, and have Dana Brooke win.
Oh, so help me God.
Johnny, you gonna riot?
I will. If Dana Brooke wins, we all riot.
You gonna hit Dana Brooke's car?
I will. Yeah. I'll kick the tire. I won't. I can't afford to scrape any more cars, but I'll kick the tire as I walk by and not tell her that I kicked the tire.
You're gonna do an Asta style kick to the tire.
That's a match. I can't wait to see her go.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen like clips of her in
Japan?
Japan?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kabuki!
Damn right I have. I've seen those Japan clips.
Jesus.
I mean, feeding Dana Brooke to her, that's gonna be something.
Set up her versus Bayley, hopefully not too long from now.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? They might make her do a little bit more before that, but it's weird because Dana Brooke debuted not long ago, so this is kind of an interesting.
She's also brand new, though, just in terms of like wrestling ability, and she is getting better. But like, I love her character.
I do too.
She's such a great heel.
She really is.
Dana Brooke?
Yeah. She's so annoying and obnoxious, and I love her for it.
I don't think she realizes that she's a great heel, though. I think she's just being.
I think she has to know.
You're
not gonna like be on camera saying Dana Brooke is awesome. Retweet. That's the best heel move.
I mean, you know, the thing that I look at her in the same vein as like a Trish Stratus one day, maybe, where like, you know, she started off and she couldn't really wrestle, but she had the character and she had the ability to get a crowd behind her because she was, I mean, obviously people like Trish because she was good looking, but she had the ability to capture your attention in other ways too, you know? And I think that Dana Brooke has that, and if she can get the wrestling part down, she could be a Trish Stratus one day. I really do.
Yeah.
It's possible. I think it's going to get physical and violent.
Yes.
And a little bit of
blood and urine and vomit.
It's possible. It's very possible. We got some other really cool matches. So we have the Dusty Classic is basically coming to a head. So we're going to have Jordan and Gable taking on Rhino and Corbin, Dash and Wilder, the Mechanics taking on Balor and Joe. To me, there's no point in Balor and Joe winning this. I would love to see Dash and Wilder go against Jordan and Gable because I can care less about Rhino or Corbin.
They also kind of set that up.
I like Rhino, but God,
Right.
Corbin is just so boring.
Yeah.
He can't wrestle well, and I mean, good God, he's one of those people where they just keep trying to shove him down our throats, and it's just not working.
Scotty?
Yeah, I'm not a Corbin guy. But I do like Joe and Balor. I don't see why not, you know?
Who do you think?
Why not celebrate greatness with greatness, Johnny?
That's true. Who do you think we see in the finals then?
Whoever's wearing polka dots. Whoever's wearing polka
What if
dots.
they all should wear
I
polka
see.
dots?
See, I see something like Joe and him winning, and that kind of being, they're a team, but Joe wants that title eventually, and that could be where the fracture starts to happen too.
So they're
Yeah.
tag team champions and they start having a... Okay.
Plus, we haven't seen anyone hold both titles before at NXT yet. Might as well do it now.
Then I might be way off. It could end up being Joe and Balor versus Rhino and Corbin. I might get nothing that I want.
I've heard
Poor little fella.
Yeah, that's
Aw.
all right.
I've heard a few predictions online about this, and I fully agree, and I'm expecting it, and I'm excited for it. Is Balor started acting a little heelish with the leather jacket, and also coming out with the Balor Club shirt. And I mean, the whole Bullet Club, which is a takeoff of, is him being the little guy and having big guys sort of back him up. So I'm kind of expecting it, because also it's the Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty finishes would be a great tribute to him. I'm expecting Baron and Rhino to get to the finals against Balor and Joe, and maybe for Balor to turn on Joe and then have Corbin and Rhino as his backup.
I mean, I like that. I like that too. Look, Balor's a little ballsy motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the post he posted this week on Twitter?
Yeah.
I love that so much.
And
where
then
he's-
also, him as a heel champion, I think sets up way more matches, because then it'll be him versus Joe. Then we're about time for Itami to come back. He can reveal that Balor's the one who put him out of action and not Kevin Owens.
Whoa!
So a lot of
is
ideas
it?
for the future if we do that.
And for those of you that don't know, he went to the TNA offices this week
Yeah.
while WWE was in town there doing their shows, and he took a picture doing the Suck It
Who
right
did?
underneath the TNA sign.
Balor.
Balor did.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, TNA, where are their offices? In Nashville?
Nashville.
Yeah.
What was he doing in Nashville?
WWE was
Yeah.
doing shows there.
He tweeted a picture of...
Yeah.
Of him doing the suck it underneath the TNA sign.
And then it
Balor
made him,
wants TNA to suck it.
And then it make him take it down?
Nope.
I'm sure Triple H thought it was funny.
I'm on a roll, baby.
Wow.
Actually, a funny story is that Gato, who's one of the bookers for New Japan, he actually took the same picture but under a WWE sign.
Then in the same week?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I think what's his name, Grado, took a picture something to just he's like shots fired at Baylor, and I don't even remember what he posted, but something
Grado, from
posing in front of the WWE performance
Grado.
center looking
Grado?
happy.
Chubby Grado?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, was it just him over a
Svelte Grado.
telling a sandwich to suck it or something like that? I love Grado.
There's a lot of sucking this week.
Yeah.
That's what there is.
A lot of picture sucking. Wow.
Speaking of sucking,
Moving on.
I'm just seeing if that's a good transition.
No.
Okay.
There really wasn't a good transition. Well, I mean, okay, there is this.
I need to have a WWE gold around my waist, and then you will have gold around your finger.
Where in the hell is this going? She proposes to Rusev, and then Rusev just gives her the talk to the hand kind of, sort of. What?
He basically said bye, Felicia.
Not really, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hold on a minute, Felicia.
Yeah. It's like, you're not a priority. Me being a champion is a priority.
My bad.
You gotta plan a future with someone, you gotta look ahead before you can really settle down.
Okay, so what are you saying?
He's gotta get an investment. You get that gold, you get more money in your matches, then they can, get a house together.
Oh,
A
that's what
secondary
he's-
house, unlike the one he has with Lana.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rusev's living out big love, basically. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Rusev's a pimp, man.
He really is. My God.
Got a new Godfather of Wrestling.
Yeah. He's got a... Well, not going to go there. Okay, maybe I did. Wow. I don't know. I thought this...
Everything's blowing your mind this week, Johnny.
Are you okay today, buddy?
Huh?
You're just off today, man.
The traveling's getting to me.
You need to eat more.
With this, I probably do. Yeah, she proposes to him. And Rusev, in my book, can do no wrong. Everything he does, great. I just don't know where this is going.
I think it's eventually leading to Rusev revealing that his accent is fake, because if they keep having him talk, the man cannot hold that accent for more than a minute.
That's a bummer.
I hope they just go full soap opera with this. I hope we find out that he was trying to marry her to get his green card, but it turns out he's a naturalized citizen with like a southern accent. And then we reveal he never even left Lana. Like, it seems like they don't know where they're going week to week.
Well,
so
they
they're just
need
making
something for the women to hold us over now that Total Divas is over.
Oh, it is over?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Whatever. Can we just talk about that for a minute, because so many people were posting about it, and it feels like
I didn't see it. What
they're
happened?
trying to take the Total Divas storylines and put them into Raw more so than ever now, because well, the end of Total Divas was Dolph Ziggler basically taking Nikki to the side and being like, I can give you a family and kids, he can't, kind of thing, and like
Please tell me that.
the most scripted bullshit you'll ever see. But
Wait, that was a cliffhanger?
yeah,
No! That's going to continue into next season?
apparently
Oh,
so.
God, I don't even know.
I've just been upset.
You got to be kidding me.
I mean, just like I don't even watch Total Divas, but seeing the people's reactions online made me go and watch this clip, and it was anybody who believes Total Divas is even a semblance of real, you're stupid. Like, there's no other way to put it.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a Cena-Ziggler feud, but I want it to be based around them, not a relationship.
Well, looks like that's the route it's going, my friend.
For God's sake.
He super kicked him last night.
He did super kick him last night.
So I assume that might be the Hell in a Cell match.
And what do you think spurred this whole little...
For the U.S. title!
Yeah.
And the right to give babies.
Yeah.
My mind is blown.
The fertility match.
I
Yeah.
don't know what to do today. I just can't.
Let's talk about something great. Natty versus Paige. Damn!
Look,
That was so great!
look. Anyone who doesn't recognize Natty is the best female wrestler on the main roster right now, you're smoking crack.
Her and Paige had amazing chemistry. I mean, it was, and the funny thing is, there's people on the internet last night after Raw that were talking to us saying, "Oh, there's Paige getting buried again." How could you call losing clean to Natty being buried? That to me that says the feud is progressing. Natty gets a win, Paige gets pissed off, they get into a feud together that is meaningful aside from all the PCB stuff.
Yeah, I think buried gets thrown around way too much.
It does. I'm tired of people saying, you lose one match, oh, you're getting buried. Calm down.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. Can you remember, think back maybe 3 weeks ago on Raw. Can you remember who won and lost the matches? Because
Exactly.
I can't.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
Maybe you can, because you're like the wrestling encyclopedia, but
He is.
you know, most people aren't gonna remember. Like, the wins and losses don't really matter at the end of the day. It's about the story, you know?
Natty Paymill is the god of wrestling knowledge.
God's in the house tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, that's stupid to say she got buried.
Agree. I think a Paige Natty feud would be fantastic right
Yeah, and also we can have a feud that's not just over the belt. We can have
Thank
secondary
you.
feuds. We have time for it.
now. Exactly. And it gives Paige something else to do while Charlotte worries about her title, while Becky does her thing, and then while Team BAD jumps in the title frame, maybe something like that. Because you got Naomi, and you got Sasha, and then Tamina will just be there.
Yeah.
She
Like
holds
she
the
always
coats.
is.
Yeah. I mean, she should. But when you got Naomi and Sasha, Tamina should not be doing a lot of singles matches. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I mean, the only thing she had going for her was her last name, and
That's not there anymore.
Let's not go. But yeah, I think Natty Page would be a fantastic feud. It would allow Natty to really step out and make a strong reappearance, you know, after being gone for a while. So
Can we talk about something else that's awesome?
sure.
I am so excited that Kane is in the title picture right now.
It's your severed head.
Hell yeah.
I'm legitimately excited about this.
He's great. Every week his multi-personality is just killing it for me.
Look, if there was, you know, Rollins has really, in my opinion, I've turned to really like him more than I did in the beginning of his run as the champion.
Yep.
And I think that he has done a phenomenal job. But if there's one person that I could see them actually maybe letting him drop the title to, even if it was just briefly, it would be Kane.
Really?
You know? And I think that's because Kane right now, especially as the Demon Kane, really does look like a threat. He really is coming off strong. He's coming off as a guy that you don't want to fuck with, you know? And I would love. I think too. Just the nostalgia factor for me is that like that's something I want to see one more time. Is Kane have a title like that? I think he deserves it.
Oh, he's earned it, yeah, for sure.
Maybe not a long run, maybe even just like something to make Rollins have to like work harder to get it back, only to like lose it. Oh God, dare I say to Sheamus at some point? But like,
Do not look stupid!
look, unfortunately, that's a reality we all have to face. That Sheamus will be the champion at some point.
Not necessarily.
No, isn't that true?
He doesn't have to necessarily win when he cashes in.
Yeah, because Triple H's buddy is gonna lose.
Wow.
I mean, Seth Rollins is Triple H's buddy also.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like your positive thinking, guys, because the last thing I want is Sheamus as champion.
Yeah.
But I do want to see, even if Kane gets it for one day only, like his last title.
Well, I mean, like,
Less than 24 hours.
he won the championship with the Money in the Bank a couple of years ago.
Yep.
You remember that, like, one at the same night?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that
right,
reign...
Mysterio.
Yeah. I always thought that reign was kind of like a... Thanks for being cool, Glenn.
How long
We
was that?
appreciate it.
About 2 months?
No, it lasted a little while. I think I remember he feuded with Undertaker, and that's when like Paul Bearer came back and they blinded him with the light from the urn.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of when they also... when Paul Bearer got thrown off the balcony. That one...
Oh, when he was feuding with Edge.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, okay.
Look, if Kane doesn't win, that's fine. But I think it's cool. Hell in a Cell having Undertaker and Kane performing on it in big time matches. That's cool.
Oh
Yeah.
And I think too, like when I've been thinking about it a lot, I really do hope ultimately, since it looks like this is going to be the end of the Lesnar Taker feud, I really do hope, honestly, that we get a Kane Undertaker match at WrestleMania one more time.
The fourth one?
Yes.
Not looking likely for Sting, I guess.
I'd want to see that one more time.
I'll watch it, but I prefer not Mania.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if anything, I'd rather see them like team for a little bit.
Yeah, Brothers of Destruction, bring it back, or have teams at Survivor Series.
That's true.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised that this match
Going
is
against
happening.
The Wyatts or something.
That'd be amazing too. I am surprised that we're seeing Lesnar Taker at Hell in a Cell and not Survivor Series. But
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm happy about it because we get to see it here in Los Angeles. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm cool with that.
And how great! I thought Big Show and Lesnar at MSG was done to perfection. It wasn't long. Big Show got those choke slams in. Lesnar kept popping back up, and then all of a sudden, he just destroys and the match is over. I really liked the way that went down.
Let's do this!
You thought that was perfection?
I thought it was well done. I liked it.
Oh,
I didn't want to see a 20-minute match between those two.
Well, you didn't get one.
No, I didn't.
I thought it was a little too short. But
All that hype, and I was like, all right.
I mean, I don't think they needed to hype up Big Show anymore. Just feels like whenever they do, it just feels so artificial. It's just like, oh, we're having him face Brock Lesnar. Let's have him beat people twice to remind you, hey, he's big. And that would have been cool if they protected him for the last 20 years, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And so instead it just turns into, all right, let's feed Cesaro to him. Let's feed someone else to him.
You know what it turned into?
Suplex City, bitch!
That became that real quick.
It sure did.
Kofi had a longer match with Lesnar in Tokyo than Show did.
I'm always happy to see a longer match between those two.
It was a bummer because they hyped it up so much, and it does feel like a special attraction. I wanted at least some semblance of a match. It didn't have to be 20 minutes, but I thought at least 10. A little bit of back and forth. It was just one back, one forth. That was it. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm tuning in for because you hyped it so much, and it's just a flash in the pan.
Well, I think it's part of it is they have to protect Lesnar going into this big match at Hell in a Cell coming up.
Sure, but that guy's all right. He's fought with diverticulitis. I think he'll be all right. You know?
I mean, see, for me, it was like it was a house show. They turned into an event only on the network, so it's like an added bonus. So I enjoyed how that match. I understand why you wanted to go longer, but for me, when I watched it, I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then it wasn't even the final match. It went into the steel cage match. Mm-hmm. But I definitely see your point. So, let's see what. Oh, of course we got to talk about freaking New Day.
At the same damn time!
All of us at the same damn time. Just crushing it last night, as always. Everything they're doing.
It's getting like redundant to say that almost. Like it's a given. Like, and I love what they're doing, but like. I almost wish they would do something wrong so we could come in here and have something to be like, what had happened with because it's like if you go back and listen to this show for the past 2 months, New Day's awesome is, it's like you can't say anything bad about these guys.
Well, the funny thing is, we were getting criticized
early on
when we were on.
We were the New Day supporters.
Yeah, us and Dale were the New Day people back when they first started saying, "Give them time, it's gonna be fine. Trust the New Day," and everyone was shitting on us like, "Oh, New Day's terrible. It's not gonna work." And we're like, "Calm down."
Even Booker, as much as I love the man, came on the show and he goes, I think they need to go back to the drawing board. Or
Yeah, he
do
did.
something, or they need to, because it's not. Yeah, and I guess they did go back to the drawing board because it is working and it is firing on all cylinders.
At the same damn time.
And Booker will even tell you one of his favorite things on WWE TV right now.
How could it not be?
New Day.
In fairness, though, if it wasn't for the fans all turning on them, they wouldn't have turned heel. If they just had like mild reactions, they
But
just
that's
like,
what they
stayed
wanted.
straight.
They were trying to do that.
I actually genuinely don't know. Were they specifically
Yes.
trying to get the
Yeah.
fans to
Yes.
chant that they suck?
Dude, trust
Yes.
me.
Because that's awesome. Because like I love them. They're
I'm
the
not-
best thing to come in years.
I'm not going to say you an exact quote from any one of them that we may or may not have heard. They wanted to get booed out of the building so they can start doing this.
They didn't, look. Again, like you, I'm not gonna say who said what or who has said anything, but a lot of it came down to the gimmick that they were originally pushed to do with New Day was a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
They fought it as much as they could, and I'm glad they did,
Yeah.
because we might have a very bastardized version of them if they hadn't. And you think you've heard things that WWE is racist before? Well, just imagine what it could have been.
Oh yeah.
What they're doing now, the creative freedom they have. I watched an 18-minute clip, a WWE.com exclusive clip of them just goofing off backstage with Eden that went 17 and 50 seconds. I'm not kidding. It was just them yes-anding and doing an improv scene for 18 minutes, just completely goofing off.
I love all the stuff they do with Team Bad behind the scenes that you don't
Oh,
see on like
yeah.
TV. That stuff is
They
great.
wore their outfits, right?
Cesaro was wearing a Sasha shirt, I think, or something. Little V-neck.
I would love to see at some point those two groups come together in some way.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be really fun.
It'd be the perfect pairing.
Well, look, before we start talking Bound for Glory, because I want to talk a lot about that, and then, of course, we're going to talk to Shane Helms, but we want to get into the open conversation first.
we do, because
I know you got to go.
Unfortunately, I got to get out of here,
Right.
guys. We got
So
Dallas Keuchel on the mound.
Jonathan, don't make the phone call yet. I'll give you a heads up to make the phone call. We're going to talk open conversation, then we'll get into TNA. So what do you got, Chuck?
Well, last week we discussed a list that pissed all of us off in here, and made us think about some wrestlers from the past and whatnot. And afterwards, me and Scott were having lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it.
Brunch?
What is it when you have lunch or dinner? Linner.
Linner. You had some Linner.
We had some Linner.
Nice.
So we came up with, started talking about wrestlers that were underrated, because Scott and I both have a huge appreciation for Rico. And many of you remember Rico the Stylist.
Of course.
And we're going to talk about him, of course, in this today. So today I wanted to open the conversation up to underutilized or underappreciated wrestlers. Even if they reached success, the ones in your minds that you feel are the most underrated or underappreciated. And of course, fans listening, except for Ari, you're not welcome to comment on this, to me at least.
Boy, he gets a lot of love on this show.
But you guys have been really good about sending, me, Wrestling Buds, everyone, your thoughts on this, and keep them coming, because we really like seeing them and hearing them and reading them and all that good stuff. But I want to open that conversation up, obviously, with talking about Rico first.
Who wants to lead
and
up?
then hear who some of the others you guys think are.
Rico, I WrestleMania 19 in like Uber fandom days. I went with my buddy and we went to WrestleMania 19 and we went to the hotel where everybody was staying and trying to meet everybody and take photos and doing all that. In that weekend, we saw Rico 3 separate times, and each time he got cooler. Each time he was friendlier and just appreciative of, like, hey guys, how you doing? And I had photos that I had taken and he would sign them, and my buddy was wearing a Batman sweatshirt and he was talking about, oh yeah, I used to work at Magic Mountain doing the Batman stunt show. And just talked about all the stuff that he's done in his past, and was just always really appreciative and was always really cool to fans. Every fan that I saw that interacted with Rico, that initial, like, they want to meet someone huge, they want to meet, Undertaker, they want to meet Triple H, but it's like, oh, Rico, all right, well, hey, Rico, can we get a photo? They walk away going, Rico's so awesome, that guy's great.
I love it.
And that aside, like, he made the Billy and Chuck gimmick work.
Sure.
You know, like I personally, that is one of my favorite gimmicks because I thought it was just funny, and I thought that they were a great team.
Groundbreaking.
The chemistry that they had, you know, like it worked.
Way ahead of its time.
It wouldn't have worked without Rico.
Well, no, Rico was their Bobby Heenan. He made it work.
Yeah, he was one of the best house show performers I've ever seen. In a tag, as a manager, whatever it was, he got the crowd amped every time and just wanting him to be torn apart.
That's a great choice.
And it's a shame that Rico. So I think Rico is like the perfect example of this conversation almost because he could have been a bigger star if he had been given the opportunity.
And that guy's like a Kane. He's a total team player. Everything they gave him, he did it.
Yeah.
Right. And he was, you know, my experience in the couple of times that I encountered him was the same as yours. Super friendly guy, super nice, really happy to talk to the wrestling fans, which, you know, a lot of wrestlers just aren't.
Do we know what he's doing now?
I think he's a cop.
Right?
Yeah, back
What?
to being a cop in Vegas.
Well, that's amazing. All right, good for him.
So maybe you can invite him to your comedy show sometime, Johnny.
Yeah, I should do that.
You really should.
That'd be the coolest. I'll find out. I'll see what beat he's on, and I'll get pulled
All right,
over.
so
Just scrape his cop car.
God damn it.
so obviously we got Rico. Scott,
Yeah, let's all do one.
give me
Just
one.
one, huh? All right. There's a couple in mind, but damn, I'll go female on this one. Victoria.
Oh hell yeah, one of the best ever.
You know, they talked about all the stuff at Night of Champions, going through the lineage of all the ladies and how great they are, and it's always Trish and Lita. Victoria just never gets any recognition.
You talk about a team player. She's been a team player for everybody she's worked for.
What a badass chick too. Mm-hmm. Super cool chick.
Very nice.
Super friendly.
Very nice.
And they gave her just a minimum character of like, you're crazy. And she turned it into a lot.
It worked.
She had that hardcore match with Trish where they're clobbering each other with chairs and she tore her ACL or something doing that moonsault. Like, they went to town, and all the stuff she did with Stevie later on at WrestleMania. She was having great matches all the time, and she's just not recognized because she wasn't Lita or Blonde, you know?
Yeah.
It's a shame. She doesn't, and even in TNA as Tara.
I think she
Great
moved
there,
out
too.
here. We should get her in the studio sometime. That'd be great.
She's awesome.
She
It's a
is
great
very
choice.
Cool.
Nat?
I'm going to go with someone a lot of people haven't even heard of, probably. He's a retired indie wrestler by the name of Scott Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
See, I thought you were going to
Yeah.
say, okay, I thought you were going to go with Jerry Lynn, who's also incredibly underrated.
But I feel like he had a lot of recognition. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
the independent scene was
Jerry
like...
Lynn got his recognition.
Yeah, like I feel like the independent scene was modeled after the matches he had with RVD. But Scott Lost was a Southern California wrestler for PWG, and he never had a bad match. He had a cool moveset, a cool look, and I remember like during their big tournament end of the year Battle of Los Angeles, I thought he was going to win because he was racking up some good matches, and he was out in the first round, and I was really disappointed. And then about a month later, he retired, and he did a great speech saying the reason is he promised his family that, hey, if I'm not signed by the time I'm 30, I'll retire. And I think now he's a comic book artist.
He is, yeah. He's doing the comics Second Shift.
Awesome. That's wow.
It's a great comic.
But no, he was a great wrestler. If you guys haven't, go to, I think it's highspots.com, get some PWG DVDs from about the like mid to late 2000 era, and he never had a bad match, and he was awesome. Can't stress it enough.
Great choice.
His retirement match was against Scorpio Sky
At
PWG.
that must have been before I knew Sky. How many years ago are we talking?
Oh, this is probably 2009, 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Sky. Talk about underrated. Sky's a great choice.
Both
Yeah.
Scott Lost and Victoria came out of UPW. They were training out of there along with
Wow.
Cena and everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people came out of the SoCal scene. Absolutely.
Those are two right there.
Johnny, who's your choice?
Oh man, I mean, I work with a lot of people I think are underrated. I think Scorpio Sky's one of them. I think Ryan Taylor is another one. Peter Avalon, although Avalon's starting to get a lot of recognition. Let's see who else. I think for me though, I got to go with one of our best friends on the show. I got to go with Nigel McGuinness.
It's an excellent choice.
Yeah, he's really influenced so many people. And if you talk to anyone in wrestling, we had Seth Rollins on the show, and he's like, if it wasn't for Nigel, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Nigel taught me how to be a man when we wrestled for the Ring of Honor World title. Dean Ambrose admits he took the lariat from Nigel McGuinness. That was Nigel's thing. And as a matter of fact, Nigel used the clothesline on Dean Ambrose for the first time. So basically, I think Nigel's done so much. He had, not the greatest luck in the world when it came to the bicep injury, which he could have been fine with. He got his contract rescinded, and then of course the whole thing with TNA. And he's moved on now. He's editing television, which is great, and he's still a really good friend. But he was so great in the ring and so intense and so respected. And to this day, the pop he gets when he comes out at Ring of Honor shows and on the TV show, that's got to feel, and I know it feels good for him because those fans don't forget how great he was and still is.
Now I'm going to give you my choice, and then I'm going to throw a couple names out there for you all for some honorable mentions, and then we'll move on to TNA.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Homicide.
Okay.
Homicide is my, that's my guy right there. I think he is one of the guys that really brought a different style of wrestling, especially from a small guy who wasn't, maybe as big or as intimidating as other guys, but his tenacity and attitude really brought something to be desired and really brought something out of other people.
He's a scary son of a bitch.
He's actually the guy who unseated Bryan Danielson for the ROH World Title.
Right, and that's like his recognition, being the champion.
But he was only champ for about like 2 weeks, though.
And I feel like he was, a lot of these guys, like, Nigel was a champion, Victoria was a champion. I'm not familiar with the guy you mentioned, so I can't Scott Lost. I can't speak.
A lot of tag stuff, I think, was multiple tag.
But like these are guys that got their recognition by being that champion, but I still think they were underutilized and underappreciated.
Yeah,
on a large scale. Yeah,
you guys don't realize how many people that you watch now that Homicide trained. And who.
Hey, Jonathan, don't call yet. I'll let you know. Okay, thank you.
So Homicide is my choice. But now I got a couple honorable mentions that I want to hear what you guys think of. I'm going to throw a tag team out there. Individually, both of them under-recognized and underappreciated. As a tag team, maybe a little more recognition.
Okay.
The world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas.
Sure. Oh my God, together? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that those two are very underrated. And I think Shelton Benjamin could have and should have been a top star in WWE.
Yeah. He got close. He definitely got close. There's probably a lot of good underrated tag teams over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the WWE had such talent come through, and they just didn't care about the tag division, so they just let them all go.
Very true. Another person who we all agree is a star, but at the time was just not used right. We talked about him before the show, John Morrison.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another one. And you think about, if NXT didn't come about and start signing a whole bunch of people, think about how many people we'd be talking about right now. We'd be talking about Kevin Steen.
Very true.
Hell, if things didn't shake out the way they did, we'd be talking about Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
True. Now there's one guy that I want to mention that Scott and I discussed last week, and I feel like we would be doing everyone a disservice to not talk about this guy in this section, and he deserves his props. That's Al Snow.
Yeah, actually, he showed up at Bound for Glory, and at 52 years old, dude looks awesome.
He's 52?
Yeah. Wow. And he's in great shape and had a really good performance at the Bound for Gold Gauntlet match. He knocked out Eli Drake. Eli Drake was first eliminated. Like, God dang it.
But here's the thing that, when Scott and I were talking last week about it, and Scott, you made a very valid point, and I want you to elaborate on this because I think you articulated it very well, but you said it was because of the time period he was in and who he was surrounded by.
Yeah, I think that in times when there's an oversaturation of talent, when there are so many good guys, when the guys that are on the lower end of the card and you go, oh, they suck, that's only perceived because everybody else is so good. There are other times when you can see that there are really, really amazing guys, like your 2007, 2006 in WWE, somewhere around there, when then you have... I'm not a fan of Kenzo Suzuki. You have guys like that are on the lower end of the card, and you go, well, they're not going to go anywhere. They're trying to push these guys, but they don't have all the talent. Back in that time, everybody knew how to wrestle. Everybody knew how to do something, and everybody was an interesting character because they could pull it off.
And I don't want to take anything away from Mick Foley for, he would have achieved greatness either way. But you got to give Al Snow credit for really helping put over part of Mick Foley's characters at the time. They were like a pair that just, it worked so well.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else you guys would like to mention for honorable mentions? Because I got a ton more, but I feel like time is of essence.
Well, I think Al Snow is a good transition into, talking Bound for Glory.
Doug Basham.
There you go.
You had to get it out there.
Doug
Basham's amazing.
Wait, is that Shane Helms?
Hello. Yeah.
Hey, Let me give you an inch. You're on the phone. Let me get. All right. Perfect segue into our guest today. He is the multi-time tag team champion, former European champion, hardcore champion, longest reigning cruiserweight champion of all time. And when you see a brilliantly wrestled match in TNA, there's a good chance he's the brains behind it. Ladies and gentlemen, Hurricane Shane Helms. What's happening, brother?
Well, I ain't going to be able to live up to that introduction, so I'm going to just get off the phone now.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Dude.
Everything's going good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. So how was it being able to just like take an Uber to Bound for Glory on Sunday?
Actually, I don't live that close.
Oh, okay.
I live east of Raleigh, and that was it's probably about 3 hours from there, but we also had live events that whole weekend. We did West Virginia and Salem, Virginia the night before, so we were on the road pretty much all weekend.
All right, good deal. So overall thoughts, I mean, we all enjoyed the heck out of Bound for Glory. I thought it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of unpredictability involved, especially at the end, and especially when some dude walks out with a green jacket to congratulate T. Green.
Yeah. They've kind of been wanting to get me on screen as I've been on screen a couple times in kind of like an unofficial capacity. Nothing that was really planned or anything like that. It kind of just happened to be there, and they wanted an authority figure or something like that before. But this was the first time I got on screen kind of as who I was in the ring. So we'll see what happens. I'm not committed to anything just yet. But I thought it was a fun little segment.
Well, that leads me to my question is, January I think was the knee surgery, and obviously we went to the Middle East 2 months ago. How's the recovery with the knee going?
Oh, that still sucks. It's a sucky injury, man. It's a sucky injury to have, and I'm not exactly anywhere near as young as I used to be. Mm-hmm. So, it's healing slower anyway. I don't think you're supposed to be kind of doing like any kind of in-ring performance stuff until like maybe a year out.
Yeah.
But just a couple of weeks ago, I did a tour in the UK, and I actually got in there and wrestled. But there's a lot of character stuff, a lot of character hurricane things that I can go in there and still do good stuff and not really endanger myself too much. So it's just one of the things you just got to play by ear and hope for the best. When I was a kid, I never got hurt, and that's the crazy thing about this business more than any other industry. The more successful you are, the worse it is for your body.
That's true.
Hey man, I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you this one question. You're talking about starting to do some stuff behind the scenes, maybe getting back in the ring. But I want to know if we're ever gonna get a chance to see the reunion of the greatest boy band of all time.
We actually did one last year. There's a big event in North Carolina every year around Thanksgiving called WrestleCade. Okay. And me, Shannon, and Evan actually got in the ring and did the whole dance and everything. It's the first time we've done anything together since WCW. So it was pretty neat. I went out and wrestled as the Hurricane. I did a skit up in New Jersey last year. Wrestled a guy named Chris Hero, who's pretty well known to any wrestling fan that might be listening to this. And I actually came out as Sugar Cane. It was kind of an I combined both of the Hurricane and the Sugar Shane gimmick, and it was actually pretty fun. So I kind of did something exactly like that at the WrestleCade thing when I came out and I wrestled as Hurricane. But then Shannon and Evan came out, and they had that bright green jacket that I had on last night, and they put it on me, and I did we all did the song and the dance and everything. It was pretty wild. The fans liked it. So
when you guys had when you guys had the reunion, who was the lead singer? I hope it was you.
It's me at this point. I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and just be the leader of the band at this point.
That's only fair. Now let's talk Bound for Glory. I mean, there was a lot going on. Obviously, your appearance, we got excited about that. But getting into the main event, I mean, Matt Hardy, new champion, EC3, did not get pinned. We saw him, I think he pretty much destroyed Gaburik afterwards and then got right in Dixie's face. That was definitely an ending I did not see happening. What was the aftermath of all that?
I think some of the aftermath is still going on. I don't even exactly know everything that's going forward. The one thing that I do love that TNA is doing right now is the unpredictability factor that's going on there. It's always bothered me when I can watch a wrestling show and predict who's going to win every single match or what's going to happen every single match. Even if I love the guys, that gets monotonous to me. So the craziness that's been going on in TNA is the organized chaos is almost by design. They're kind of embracing the unpredictability factor, and that's bringing interest. If I know what's going to happen every week, there's no way you can be as interesting. There's just no way it could be as interesting. So I like it. I like not knowing. I like I'm not a big fan of like the spoilers and stuff. We get that from fans a lot. That they'll sit there and they're like, yeah, but it's so predictable. I'm like, yeah, you read the spoilers. You can't read that shit and then blame us. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
And I do appreciate you on Twitter because you're not afraid to, you'll respond to fans that are acting like jackasses. Like, yo, man, check your negativity at the door. We don't need it. And I appreciate the fact that you're not afraid to check people when they need it.
Yeah, man. The greatest thing about social media is it gives everybody a voice, and the worst thing about social media is that it gives everybody a voice.
There you go.
Some people just need to shut the hell up.
Well, speaking of the negativity and the naysayers, right? One of the things that a lot of people have always said was TNA's in-ring talent is second to none, some of the best. But they've said that maybe the storylines or the people maybe running the company aren't always the best at what they're doing. What do you say to those naysayers?
I mean, I think they say that just about anybody. Those people. I don't think we're ever going to win those people over. Those people that if you go out of your way to find something bad, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find something bad in anything. There are movie mistakes in Pulp Fiction, and that's my favorite movie of all time.
There you go.
And that's not going to make me like it any less, and I'm not going to go look for it. Those types of people that have that type of mentality that I'm gonna go find something and just highlight everything that's wrong. You can find wrong in just about anything. I would like for everything to be absolutely perfect, especially if it's something that I'm involved in. But sometimes shit happens.
Yeah.
Have you?
And it's a wrestling show. I mean, a lot of things. I mean, I don't know what they're really expecting sometimes. When you watch a professional wrestling show, we're gonna go out there and you're going to be a lot of wrestling and that type of thing. And, if we do character stuff, the naysayers like, oh, man, there's not enough wrestling. So then we do some wrestling. It's like, oh, well, they got no character. It's like, they'll find a way to bitch. And you can't focus on those people.
Exactly.
Have you gotten to come in there and kind of implement any changes that you would like to see happen in the product?
Probably some of the unpredictable stuff. I'm the newest agent there, so it's not like I'm gonna come in and have all this authority or something like that. I immediately saw that some fan put that Matt Hardy won the title because I'm in creative now. I was like, really, man? Are you sure that's why you won? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not in any of those meetings. But yeah, all agents are going to have suggestions about things they like. That's what we're there for. We're going to have suggestions, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of suggestions, a lot of things that creative is going to do, and that's on them. As an agent, your job is to try to take the idea that creative has and make it better.
All right.
I'm more of a tweaker, and I got to think another responsibility I have with that company is like in kind of an editorial role. That when I watch things back, I have to go to the guys and say, listen, this could have been better, and this, might not should have done that or something like that. And that kind of sucks because you hate to be that guy, but that's what they brought me in for. So
sure,
I'm that guy at this point.
All right, switching gears a little bit. This is something I've always wanted to ask you: who's the better Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner? Go.
It just depends on who's writing it.
All right,
it's not a real person.
So if
but I do get that a lot. If Ron Mars is writing it, the book's going to be great no matter what. So that all just depends,
No love for Jon Stewart?
I like Jon Stewart. I thought Jon Stewart had a really great storyline. He was in the old school books. The new 52 isn't nothing that is blowing me away in any way, shape, or form. So I couldn't even tell you exactly what's happening with the New Guard or anything. But Jon Stewart used to have a really great story. I don't know what it looks like now.
Well, while we're on the entertainment topic, you mentioned Pulp Fiction. What mistakes are you talking about, Paul? I mean, I've seen it a million times. I think it's perfect. What are there glaring mistakes in Pulp Fiction?
No, it's not glaring, but it's something. There's like some kind of crazy website called like MovieMistakes.com, and it's like the the verbiage, you know, when the couple robs the bank, you know, I love you, pumpkin, I love you, honey bunny, or whatever it is that they say in the beginning.
Yeah.
The words don't match up when they go back at the end. That's one of them. That actually I picked up on myself.
Wow.
But like I say, it was nothing like that. I hate the movie or anything. That would be the one I would watch on the deserted island if I only had one movie for the rest of my life, you know.
See, I'd go Big Lebowski, but Pulp Fiction's a good choice.
Speaking of Pulp Fiction,
actually, because we just had this discussion. I can't remember where somebody had with me. So what is one movie? If you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be? And it would be tough because you're going to need a little something for everything. You know, you're going to need that adult flavor too if you can only watch one movie for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what Pulp Fiction doesn't have. So I had to go with The Watchmen. If you guys have ever seen the, it's a comic film, but it does have a little bit of everything. So that's what I went with in my choice.
Okay. See, Big Lebowski, I would just giggle to myself on my lonely island the whole time. That's why I would choose that.
Don't you laugh.
Don't you laugh, Ken. Go ahead. Now you're going to say something?
I was going to say, what do you think is in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction?
Like Golden Grams or something. And everybody thought wasn't it supposed to be Marcellus Wallace's soul or something like that?
Yeah,
that's a popular theory. But
all the rumors or whatever, but I don't know.
I like
it
Golden
didn't
Grams.
seem like the type of movie that was demonic in nature, so I don't know if that's a true thing to say.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Going back to Bound for Glory, you know, you being an agent, obviously, you're backstage, you're helping everyone out with the matches and everything. Is there one match to you that stood out as match of the night? Because honestly, I enjoyed the show from start to finish. I thought every match had a lot of great moments to it, but is there one that really stood out for you the most?
I thought the main event was really well done. Mm-hmm. You know, that caught everybody by surprise. I thought there's a lot of different interlining or interlayering stories that went on there, and that was probably the best moment too. But actually, Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley was one of my favorites of that night, because in the midst of all this chaos that was, you know, Bound for Glory, you had this just pure wrestling match. And at the end of the day, you know, I am a huge wrestling fan, and sometimes I don't need all the bells and whistles. And I like to just go out there and see guys beat each other up, and that was pretty cool. I thought they went out there and they had a really great wrestling match, and I enjoyed that one.
You know, Shane, I gotta ask you, being, you know, like you said, you're the newest agent there, that kind of puts you in an authoritative position. Is it difficult to have to take on that role, especially amongst some of these guys that you came up in the business with, some of the guys that you've wrestled all over with, to kind of become their boss, so to say?
Not really. You know, I got a pretty good amount of respect, for my peers and stuff like that, and that has saved me. You know, without a doubt, I was wondering like how these guys gonna react. But you know, if you go in there and you start delivering, and I was providing input for the main event the very first day I was there, so they caught on pretty good that I know what I'm doing in terms of understanding what goes on in a pro wrestling match. You know, I'm very unique when it comes to agents. You know, generally agents are good at what they did, their one thing, and they usually only did the one thing. I kind of did just a little bit of everything. I kind of had a really wild career when it comes to, characters and stuff that I've done. I mean, I was a heel, and I was successful as a heel, and I was a good guy, and I was successful as a good guy, and I was just a wrestler, and I was successful as just a wrestler, and then I become the character as a Hurricane, and that too was successful. So I found success in a lot of different avenues. So there aren't too many scenarios that I'm going to be given there that I haven't performed in before.
Yeah.
And I can help these guys deal with it. And that's what I bring to the table as an agent there.
And I'm glad you mentioned successful characters, because as much as I love EC3, I think he's becoming an amazing villain. After watching EY and Angle, which EY was already there, there's no better villain in wrestling. That dude is just pure evil. That match had me cringing, just because you literally know Angle's neck is messed up, and you don't know what's like. The way EY knows how to be a villain, there's nobody better right now.
Yeah, and in this day and age, when you can take that, what am I trying to say here? When you can really suspend the belief in pro wrestling in this day and age, in the day and age where everything's been exposed to death, EY can make you believe, and that is rare. That is super rare.
Yeah.
And so he's awesome. He's one of those guys I can watch all the time. You know, he's I don't think anybody really says he's underrated, you know, or whatever, or rates him like that. But whatever the rating system is, he's underrated because he can make you hate him, and that's hard to do these days.
But not to mention, he could also be the strongest babyface you've ever seen, and the funniest wrestler. I mean, he literally can do it all. When he first made this heel turn, and he came out with like the De Niro taxi driver jacket, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. He has taken it to a level that I didn't even think he could.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a throwback. But that can also work today's style, you know. So man, he's good. He's got it going on, man.
That's awesome. Is there any news as far as, now obviously Bound for Glory is over. I don't know what the deal with Destination America is. Do you know any information as to what might be happening next?
No. I kind of just stay away from that.
Right.
It's not my area, and I just like, you know, because that was, I hate the uncertainty of it. Of course, I think everybody does. But I was there in WCW when they were kind of going through, you know, of course, tough issues toward the end, and I just remember having a moment like with myself, going, you know, it ain't going to help me to worry about this.
Right.
You know, this ain't going to help me at all. So I need to go out there and just do what I do, and fortunately that worked out for me. So anytime like I think some of the guys are worried about it, I just tell them, you know, what I went through with that. You know, in WCW, I was like, man, it ain't going to help you at all to sit here and worry about that. Just, you need to go out there every night and do what you do, and, you know, swing for the fences. And that was the mentality too going into not last night, but Sunday night in Bound for Glory. You could see, like, I mean, to me, it felt like, you know, there's guys out there and just going all out. And you can say what you want about creative and you know whatever the TNA administrative decisions that are made sometimes, but the guys are out there killing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the best shows I've seen in a while, and I watch everything. And of course, I always get your bias, but you know, I'm in a strange position that because, you know, like before I went to TNA, if I would compliment them, people would say, "Yeah, but you're just trying to get a job," and I'm like, "No, what?" And if I said anything bad about them, it was because I never worked there before. And like saying it's kind of like that with WWE too. Like now, if I say anything bad, it's because I'm bitter and I work for TNA, and if I say anything good, it's because I just want to get my job back. So
that's the internet, baby.
It's a no-win situation for us sometimes.
That's the internet right there. But no, I'm glad you mentioned your positivity is great. Like I know you tweeted a picture not too long ago where you know, to anyone who's questioning what the morale is, you know, at TNA, check us out. And it shows everyone like having a good time as a group. And just, you know, when I got to go to the Middle East with you, it was, you know, Anderson and Melendez and Aries and Thea. Everyone got along so great. I can only imagine how much fun it must be, you know, working a weekend of shows with that crew.
Yeah, and too, I'm one of those guys, man. I think, you know, a happy locker room will provide better results. And because I'm kind of a goofball anyway, I kind of just take it upon myself to keep everybody kind of laughing as much as I can. I'm almost convinced that I think Vince kept me around so long just because I kept everybody laughing. It might not even have been, I'm pretty sure the merchandise checks helped out a little bit, but I think I would just go mess with him every now and then and make him laugh, and I think that's why he kept me for so long.
I mean, you had us crack it up in the middle. Let's talk about the Ringside Salute Tour for a couple minutes. You know, we're 2 months. We've been back for almost 2 months now. I still think back to that all the time, and it's just the greatest memories. What was the overall, you know, takeaway from you for that trip?
I had a great time. You know, I think I'm still sweating.
Yeah, right.
I've never been that hot in my entire life.
One outfit a day.
Do what? Yeah, one outfit a day. That's all you're getting from me. It was hot. That's all I can remember was being hot. Now, I mean, I remember we had a blast, and we were just talking the other night about when Austin got drugged down by that dog. Man, that was one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. And you know what I'm talking about when that dog got him at the end?
Dude, that laugh is on the internet now. You know that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was hyperventilating. It was like, this is my friend getting attacked by a dog, and I should be checking on him. But there wasn't even 1 second where I was concerned. It was just pure laughter.
Well, you know why? It's because, you know, Aries was running full speed. The rest of us jogged away from the dog. You stood there. Thea stood there. Ken and I just kind of jogged around and let the dog hit us. Aries was running full speed because he's a competitor. He thinks he could best the dog. The dog leaps on him. Then he does that classic, like, Austin Aries slide on the ground, and the dog whips him around. It was hard not to laugh.
Oh man,
jeez.
that's funny. That was. Yeah, actually, I can't. Melinda's had it at the because had an after party at the pay per view, and we're watching it there, and we're just dying laughing over that whole scenario again. But it was good, man. We did, everything that was such a morale builder for everybody there. Not just, I know we were there to build the morale of the troops and everything, man. But in one of those deals, I think the morales of the people that are involved, it lifted our morale too. I felt,
No doubt. I mean, every time, this is hopefully the first of many. I know we're all planning on doing another one next year, but just the experience and how excited everyone was. Like when we were at the mall and some guy saw Ken and started flipping out, and then Ken pointed at you and said, "Hey, Hurricane," and I think the guy had a heart attack in happiness.
That guy got he got pretty excited, man. It's always good to see that too when there's because that was that big giant guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, some just big muscle bound monster. He just turned into a little kid when he found out who I was.
Some local Bahrainian bodybuilder went nuts when he saw the whole Hurricane.
Yeah.
I hope you told him to stand
I still
back.
got it.
You still got it, kid.
I still got it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm trying to think. What I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but man, this has been a lot of fun. You guys have any other questions for the Hurricane?
I'm curious as an agent, what you talked about. You had the many facets of when you were a performer yourself, but what's the most compelling element to you? Is it character? Is it a match? Is it technique? Is it the story? Like, what is it to you that excites you most?
It's the people that can combine all of those things. Because right now it's crazy because wrestling, pro wrestling has the athleticism is higher now than it's ever been, and it's not even close. Even the legends that we grew up with and all that, and it's not a knock against them. It's like that in every sport. Football, baseball, basketball, whatever. The athletes today are just better. I don't know if that's a evolutionary thing. Logic would dictate that it is, but that's just how it is. And then, pro wrestling, like I said, the athleticism is at an all-time high, but the characters aren't, and the personality isn't. So when I see somebody that can be a great wrestler and somehow pull out a great character as well, that's what gets me excited about what this particular talent can bring to the table. Ethan Carter is a good example right now of a guy that's doing that. And of course, Eric Young, and I could go on and talk about different things. And two, not just, this isn't just a TNA plug here. Bray Wyatt has been fantastic in his run in WWE, and he's one of those guys that I'm really excited to see about what he can even do going further. That's what I like to see. I love great wrestling. I love wrestling, period. So, but when I can see somebody bring it together like that, that's what gets exciting for me.
And your former tag team champion Kane, who's keeping things exciting right now too with his character.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, for sure. And the longevity of that guy's that's what's most impressive. It's hard to hang around this business too many long, especially at that level. But I think the average at one time for a WWE career was pretty short. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was just only a couple of years of what the average life expectancy is kind of a bad term, but that's
career expectancy. Yeah, I hear you.
But
well, listen.
Man, he's been there for a while, man. He's and still kind of doing good. His newest character is pretty damn entertaining as far as the split personality thing.
Oh, it's great.
I could have swore that the dual identity thing's been done before. But I'll let Helms investigate that.
So a check is coming your way.
There you go.
Well, listen, man. You did do a superhero gimmick before, and as anyone who is a fan of comics or superheroes knows, at some point the character's identity shifts to a new person, and a new person dons the cape or the mask. So if there was one person in wrestling right now that could take on the persona of the Hurricane, who would it be?
Great question.
It would probably have to be done a different way. Comedy is extremely hard to do, and I think me and Johnny might have had this talk over there. I think stand-up comedy is one of the absolute most difficult forms of entertainment that there is. and comedy being done in a violent situation like pro wrestling is even tougher.
Yep.
There are a couple guys that they can pop you sporadically here and there, but to do it on a consistent basis like I did as Hurricane was a lot tougher than people would know. So that would be the hardest thing to find, somebody that can wrestle and then go out there and be funny in these violent situations, but not turn into a complete jokey character either, because I could go and be funny, but then when I would go main event with The Rock or something like that, people would still believe that I could win. And that's skating on thin ice sometimes with a comedy character. But if you want to talk about pure athleticism and stuff like that, that Neville kid is ridiculous.
Yep.
He's a much better high flyer than I ever was. There's a couple guys in TNA. Zima has a lot of. I'm saying he's got a lot of charisma in terms that he can pop a crowd and get them going as much as anybody in that locker room can. The new kid Andrew Everyday you saw in the pay-per-view, he's the guy that I helped bring in.
He's great.
He's insane. I've known him since he was, like 10 years old or something like that. And he's been doing moonsaults ever since.
Good Lord.
There's a ton of good guys, but it would be difficult. It would be difficult, I think, to duplicate what I did.
So basically, no one else is worthy of the Hurricane match.
Yeah, I'm basically the best ever.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I was trying to say.
Dude, I'll tell you this. As far as comedy goes, look, being a comic for 10 years, I've never been around a funnier person for a week. Maybe it's the heat in the Middle East. I don't know. But, dude, I mean, you had us cracking up the entire time. And as a group, I think we popped each other pretty good. But if you ever want to try stand-up, brother, we'll hook it up.
Man, I'm gonna go write me some bits. See what I can do for you.
There you go. Write some bits. Give me a call. We'll go over them. We'll run it by Ken. Tell him not to laugh.
Tell him not to laugh. He can't laugh at everything, so that's not really a good
that's a terrible
gauge of whether it's funny or not.
That's a good point. Well, find him on Twitter, everyone, at Shane Helms, COM. Is there anything else that we could promote for you?
Nah, man, I'm pretty good. I'm going to New York Comic Con this week. I'll be up there.
Cool.
How long, baby? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I wrote a short story in that Headlock comic book that's gotten rave reviews.
Nice.
I'm very proud of it. So we'll be out there signing that, and just doing the hustle, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've been in contact with the Headlock guys. I'm looking forward to reading that. So congratulations. That's great.
No book.
Cool. Yeah, man, it's a really good deal too.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, have a great time at New York Comic Con. Shane Helms, COM on Twitter, and he is the Hurricane. Shane Helms, man. Thank you so much for calling in and talking everything with us. It was really, it was a great time.
I appreciate it, man. I'll see you soon, buddy.
You got it. All right. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Hurricane.
He's seriously one of the best,
very friendly guy.
One of the best dudes, and he really is as positive as he sounds. Like he's a morale booster. That's what he does.
And I believe him. I don't think anyone could don the mask of the Hurricane.
Oh, no way. No one could do it like he did.
Not at all.
Not even close. Now I know you need to get rolling.
I'm ready. I'm right. On my way out of here as soon as we're done.
You put yourself over, and then you can roll, and we'll start close. I know you want to get the hell over to the Astros game. And by the way, the Astro, there is a definition of an Astro. I didn't get a chance to read it, but by next week we will find out what an Astro means.
That's Chuck's journey to figure out what it is.
Well, let's do a cliffhanger. Anyone who wants to know what an Astro is needs to wait till next week. A cliffhanger.
Well, listen, guys, you can find me on Twitter at crice17. You can find me on Instagram at Chuck Rice. I've been mentioning before, if you guys are going to be in Fort Worth during the first week of November, please come check out the Lone Star Film Festival. We did put our lineup online, getting some really awesome feedback. Some
Sweet.
Really, we have a film by one of my favorite filmmakers there, actually, that I'm really excited about. Charlie Kaufman's newest film.
Cool.
You guys might remember his stuff from Eternal Sunshine on a Spotless Mind.
Jesus.
Being John Malkovich, those type of movies.
Just a couple of small.
So he just did a movie with I don't want to call it like puppets, but it's like animation type stuff with it's hard to describe. But
okay.
That's his newest movie. That's going to be at the festival, amongst
Cool.
others. So definitely get a hold of me if you want to come. I'll try and get you hooked up with some screening passes. A lot of cool stuff going on. So yeah, find me on Twitter at crice17. And of course, go Astros. Go Dallas Keuchel. Take these babies to the World Series. Or the
There
first
you
step
go,
tonight.
Chuck Rice.
I'm out of here, guys.
All right, so gentlemen, let's do our own little closeout here. First off, overall thoughts. We didn't actually talk. We talked with the Hurricane, but overall thoughts on Bound for Glory. I enjoyed it. Now I saw Jim Ross gave it a C+. I thought that was a little harsh. I don't know why. Granted, there were a couple little issues. There was a sound issue here and there, but overall, I think it's like,
That bummed me out, the technical issues.
yeah, there were a couple.
Like, meaning that, because that's not, that it always goes under the umbrella of like, oh, TNA. It's like, I don't know who's in charge of doing what in that division at this point. Like, there were a couple missed spots, and a buddy of mine that I was watching with, he's like, oh, the cameraman. I go, that's the director, man. That's, camera 2, camera 3. So whatever those guys are, it's just a shame that those people aren't putting in all the effort that everybody else is, because everybody's doing an amazing job.
Maybe it's understaffed. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's just a shame to see that happen when TNA gets a bad rap, where it's like they're putting on a great show, and then we still get little snafus like that.
That's the bummer.
Yeah, I mean,
But that shouldn't affect the show.
No, I enjoyed it from start to finish. I was looking, and call me a half glass full kind of guy, but I was entertained from start to finish. I enjoyed the surprises. Hurricane coming out, Tommy Dreamer, Al Snow.
Tommy Dreamer with polka dots.
Hell yeah. I was down.
So I want to talk about something that Shane brought up a second ago. It's that from the very beginning, TNA has always had one of the most talented rosters ever. Like, always, always, always. And it's like, all of their woes and all of the lull TNA moments always come from something like in creative or something on top. And again, like the infamous Daphne goes through like a barbed wire table and the camera missed the shot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of these sort of things. And like, now their future is super duper uncertain.
It is, and
what's happening.
That's the hard part. I really hope they had a great buy rate. I mean, their backs were against the wall, so they were just doing whatever they had to do, I guess.
I mean, the more competition, the better. I mean, they haven't been even close to competition for years now, but there's so many talented people there. It'd be such a shame if they were out of work, I hope they did something, but like for a while, Dixie was announcing that like this coming Monday, I'm gonna have a big announcement about our future.
They're going to India.
Yeah,
or something.
And then there was gonna be another announcement in India, which is just kind of a classic Dixie move.
We're coming back.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're
I
bringing
really,
it back and we're coming home.
really hope they find something, because it's not even about. You mentioned competition. It's not even about competition. It's just about having options. And we're in an era now. This really is the greatest era of wrestling. There are so many companies that are thriving on the indie scene that you may not see them on TV, but they're putting on great shows. And then you have, Lucha Underground's coming back. We don't know when, but we think they're filming before the year is out. That's great news. Ring of Honor, this is the strongest they've ever been. Destination America seems to be happy with them, I think. As far as I know, they're not going anywhere. We don't know for sure.
Sure.
But man, I mean, it's just, and part of it is the fact that, you become friends with people and like you want people to have jobs, and it's not like WWE, they ain't signing everybody.
Yeah.
So I really hope that buy rate was great. And like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the matches were really good. I mean, not everything was perfect. I wish the Call and Gail Kim finish was a little stronger than it was. But other than that, and the way it ended, the way that Matt Hardy won by cheating, I thought that was odd. Jeff Hardy pretty much destroys EC3 with a chair, and that's how he loses. But at the same time, I got mad at first, but then I was like, you know what? This makes EC3 become even more angry and really getting involved in a chase for the title. So that could even be a better story. I don't know.
I really wish Willow had been the referee.
Hello. He looked like Willow.
I know. It was so close.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun moments throughout the show. I was watching it with my friend last night, and we were joking about during the gauntlet match and saying once Al Snow came out, we were trying to figure out, like, well, who else is going to show up then? And I had guessed Tommy Dreamer, and we both started laughing, like, if there's a battle royal, Tommy Dreamer's going to show up.
Innovator of violence.
Blood and urine and vomit.
But overall, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, we strongly recommend watching it. And, we support everybody. We want everyone to succeed. We want people to have jobs. And we all want to have options. And the negativity on the internet, I don't even pay attention to it, just like Shane said.
And people should form their own opinions
Yes.
rather than reading columns. And hell, even listening to us so you can hear what it is. And it's like, oh, that sounds kind of good. Watch it for yourself and form your own opinion. Don't just believe everybody saying, like, WWE's best, TNA's crap, and ROH is okay. Like, no, there's all these different options, as you say.
Right.
And art is subjective, and this is art.
And to JR's credit, he had EC3 on his podcast last week. It was a great interview. He promoted Bound for Glory. I thought C+ was really harsh. I think maybe that was speaking to some of the technical issues. But overall, I thought most of the matches were executed very, very well. I know a lot of people were a little confused by the ending, but, Matt Hardy's now the champion. We'll see where that goes, and hopefully we see them all soon.
I was flat out shocked. I didn't expect that at all.
No.
So when I watched that, I went, well, I guess I got to see the show now. Like, what the hell is going to happen?
Considering he just got added to the match 4 days prior.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to take in, and we think they have some episodes left on Destination America. I'm pretty sure
they have a few left in the can.
Right, but no taping dates scheduled. So fingers crossed.
Let him tape in here. Bring him in here.
Why not? We'll do it. I think if you watch Bound for Glory, there's an audience out there. I really think there is.
They have a built-in audience for sure.
Yeah.
Destination America was a rough decision right from the start.
It was the ECW going to TNN of its day.
Yeah, actually, TNN was in more homes than Destination America.
I know, but I mean, they didn't have their best interests at heart, and they're just looking to bring any other wrestling organization in.
I think Destination America, they didn't really understand. I think in the beginning they seemed, honeymoon phase was great, and then within a month that was over. And I really hope that they figure something out, because I'm gonna be pissed off, man. I enjoy watching it. There's so many great performers there. There's people that we've seen grow. People like Rockstar Spud have become stars before our eyes. EC3 in 2 years has become one of my favorite people in wrestling, if not tops.
I mean, TNA was always that good place where, like you were saying before, WWE, there's like so many talented people, and you just get lost in the shuffle. And then they get released, they go to TNA, and it's a really good place to sort of prove yourself and say, look, I can carry a promotion, I can be like everything that you said I couldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Austin Aries is like one of my favorite wrestlers working today.
When Aries got signed by TNA, it was supposed to be a very brief time. And to Aries' credit, and he's a very good friend, he said, I'm not going to drop a ball. You give me a ball, I'm going to run with it. He turned that into one of the greatest runs that TNA's had.
And I also remember around that time, like, I was afraid he was going to retire because he went out
He was close.
He went out for Tough Enough, and they told him, you're too old, you're too short. Which is ridiculous.
Stupid.
And then, he goes to TNA, he's their world champion, and it's one of the best storylines going at the time.
That when he won the title from Bobby Roode, in my opinion, that's one of the top moments of the past decade in TNA. There's no question about it.
No doubt at all.
I remember watching that with a group of people. Like, there are a group of people legitimately excited to get that pay-per-view because they wanted to see Aries win.
Even more than that, because, like, the thing with TNA, like I was saying before, it was never on the talent, it was always on the creative decisions. They've always had the greatest roster.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I always felt like, with Russo being in and being Russo, it's like a lot of people just sort of like turned away. Once you like get them to go away, it's hard to get them to go back. Because during that time frame, like after the whole like embarrassing Monday Night Wars Part 2 thing where they just got dominated and like just ran away with their tail tucked between their legs, there was some great stuff happening after that. After Hogan was bringing in all of his old buddies and like sort of watering down the product, we had that great storyline of Bobby Roode like going to like face Kurt Angle to win the championship, and then he loses. And he has to deal with the fact that, like, oh, I had this great quest and I failed. And then immediately afterwards, his tag team partner, James Storms, wins on his first try.
Yeah.
And then he goes heel. He has this great year-long title run. Well, Austin Aries. Like, it was a great storyline.
The Aries title run should have been a lot longer than it was. But there's a certain someone that's in charge that was determined to get the title on Hardy and not allow Aries to have his full title run. So that's the thing. But the talent is there. And when you have guys like Shane Helms backstage, it's gonna be good. They just need to find a home, and we support them, and we really hope that something good comes out of it. With that said, this has been one hell of a show, guys.
Yeah,
one hell of a show. I think we might be the
Mega Power.
Maybe.
And now that Chuck's gone, you can spread out.
Yeah.
You just got all that extra right arm room.
I can't believe I freaking bumped this car. I'm such an idiot. I was in a hurry. Anyway,
admit it on air, Johnny.
Whatever.
Did you hit his car?
No.
Johnny, literally, your insurance card, the first thing it says is do not accept responsibility. Do not admit to it. Do not do anything until you talk to us.
Oh man.
Yeah. My bad. Specifically, Nat and I. Yeah. Don't.
I know, right? What an idiot. Anyways, please follow Dale Rutledge at The Walking Dale. Wish him well on his excursion to France and everywhere else he might be going. We're going to miss him, gosh dang it. Scott Narver, put yourself over.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. Go back in the archives of youtube.com/OnYourMark Show if you want to see the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Hardy talking with Marky Extreme and guest of the show today, Hurricane Helms.
Good episode.
So check that out. And then also, Curtain Jerks available on iTunes and SoundCloud, my comedy wrestling podcast. This week, we have Pete Gas.
I can't wait to listen to that.
It's an epic. It's so much fun.
So fun. Nat Baymel, go.
You can find me on Twitter at NatBaymel. Also, you can go to my website, natbaymel.com, where I'll be posting my tour dates. Arizona friends, December 7th and 8th, I'll be at Tucson Comedy Cafe, Laughs,
There you go.
and week after, House of Comedy in Phoenix.
Boomtown. At Wrestling Buds on Twitter, Facebook.com/Wrestling Buds. Once again, the Whistle Sports Epic Tour is coming to Green Bay next Tuesday, Chicago on Wednesday, and then we're going to Michigan versus Michigan State in Ann Arbor the weekend of the 17th. But this weekend, we're going to be in Dallas, Oklahoma versus Texas. Our very first episode should be dropping this week, I'm told. So when you see me tweeting about it or putting it on Facebook, I'd really appreciate it if you could favorite, if you could retweet, if you could like it, if you could watch it. It's a really big deal, and the better it does, maybe I'll have a job in a couple months as well. So appreciate Epic Tour from Whistle Sports. Please check that out if you can. Otherwise, I think we had a hell of a show. Thank you so much to Shane Helms. Thank you to AfterBuzz TV. And I think we're going to see you next week, guys. So we'll talk to you soon, y'all.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.